Don't move. Turn your fantasy football into reality. Here's CJ.
Hello and welcome back to the Dirty Landry Experience. I'm CJ, and today we're going to talk about sleepers and where to find them. And it's all because of Jillian from Edmonton, who sent me the following question. I'm looking for a sleeper, or really I'm looking for anybody on waivers that can help me. The breakout star is the next guy, someone that can fill in a spot on a bye week for me for the rest of the season. It's almost mid-year and there's nobody there. It's a deep league. What do I do? Who do I find? And well, that's always a tough question this time of year. If you're not trading and you just want to fill in and you like your team and you're just looking for that one guy, I think you look at the special teams. You go through the different teams and you see who's returning the kicks. Now, if your league gives bonus points for, yardage gained while returning kicks, well, so be it. But the other reason that I like the fact that the kick returners, especially in the special team players, are on the roster, they're on the roster for a reason, because the coaches like them. And these are players that usually go up to the coach during the start of the year when they're on the fringe and the bubble and they say, Coach, I will do whatever it takes to make this team. I love playing special teams. Now, even if nobody likes playing special teams, but the coaches know that's right. But if a guy is willing to say, I love playing special teams, well, guess what? The coach is going to give him a chance on special teams. And if you're the guy that makes the tackle, that is willing to run back the kick without who never drops a ball, never calls a penalty, and is willing to throw his body in front of someone like Joey Bosa to spring your guy to get 3 extra yards on a kick return or something along those lines, that is a player the coach is going to reward with game time. Garbage time points, they count in fantasy football just the same as anything else. A player goes down with injury, someone's suspended, whatever the case may be, all of a sudden, there you got a guy like Jamal Agnew in Jacksonville. I mean, he was a kick returner. All of a sudden, he's returning these kicks for touchdowns, and all of a sudden, he became a wide receiver of relevance for about a half a year, and then he got hurt. But this is where you find those guys. You have to dig a little deep. You go to the depth pages. You look at the stats for every game. Who returned the kicks, right? And how many yards did they gain? And the penalties. And you can go forever on it. But the bottom line is, if a guy's playing special teams, you just look at the NFL stats. Who's the leading kick return guy? Ray's always up on that list, right? And in a league where, or on a team, pardon me, where an injury leads him to be a wide receiver 3 or a wide receiver 2. That's an invaluable prospect to have on your bench. So the more of those guys you have on your bench or that you have access to or that you know about, the stronger you will be as the season goes. And that's a place where you can find these guys. So if you want to find a player, that's where you find them. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about was practice squad players and why coaches like these guys and so forth. And here's an example. Remember Tyson Williams? Well, he came up from the practice squad for the Baltimore Ravens a couple of years ago when everybody got hurt. He came off the bench and he just destroyed it. He was the fantasy flavor of the week. I mean, everybody was, oh, I got to have this guy. Look at him. He blew it up. I mean, but the problem was the next game, he missed some key blocks in the backfield, which led to Lamar getting pounded a couple of times. And now Williams, despite his offensive abilities, the lack of blocking and other things, he's now watching Sunday Ticket from home. Now, here's a guy who was a good player, a good offensive player, and a player that we all had on our fantasy teams at some point or wanted to have on our teams. We didn't know he would peak and then be gone, but that does happen to some guys. But he wound up playing parts of 3 seasons for 3 different teams, rushing for 185 yards, 5.3 yard average. He had 84 yards catching, 9 catches, and he ran for a touchdown in a real-life NFL game. I'm guessing that the passing yardage and the rushing yardage is pretty much quite a bit more than you or I will have ever had in our professional football careers. So don't call a guy like that garbage. Don't call a guy like that a waste of time, whatever. But there was a guy that made it. He scored a touchdown in the National Football League, and he had a 5 yard per carry average. And he probably made enough money through his contracts to buy himself a house. So here's a guy in his mid 20s, not playing anymore, but he owns a house, car, maybe has a family, and he has a good job now. And see, the college degree turned into something for this young man. So despite the fact he's not playing anymore, he was a good pickup for part of a season. And that's the kind of guy you're looking for on your fantasy team. So look for the sleepers, look for those RB4s and 5s, because you never know who the next one is. Take a couple of chances too, but research it a little bit. Good luck this weekend. Thank you, Jillian. Hey, go find yourself a sleeper. I'm CJ. That's the Dirty Landry Experience.